Have you ever noticed that the moment you lie down, your dog immediately jumps onto the bed and settles in right next to you, even though there is a warm, comfortable little bed waiting for him in another corner of the room? If you have been through this, know that you are not alone, and that the answer to this behavior is far more fascinating than it seems. For years, owners and even some professionals attributed this habit to excessive spoiling, lack of boundaries, or simply the comfort of the mattress. But animal behavioral science went deeper into this question, and what research has found completely changes the way we understand the relationship between dogs and their humans. What you are about to discover may surprise you, and will probably make you look at your four-legged companion in a whole new light. In your dog's mind, the place where he sleeps is not just a place to rest, it is a declaration. When he chooses to sleep by your side, he is communicating something that goes far beyond physical comfort. He is saying in his silent and instinctive way that you are the safest person in his world, that by your side he can finally relax completely, that you are, to him, the center of his pack, and he does not want to be anywhere else. Studies on the human-animal bond show that this behavior is deeply connected to the emotional system of dogs. Physical proximity to the owner releases oxytocin, the same hormone associated with love and trust, in both the dog and the human. In other words, that cozy nighttime moment is not just cute, it is neurologically significant for both sides. And here is the part that tends to surprise most owners. In many cases, sleeping near the owner is not only good for you, it does even more good for him. Dogs are social animals that evolved over thousands of years alongside human beings. Nighttime isolation for many of them can generate real anxiety, stress, and even behaviors that seem inexplicable during the day. The absence of the owner for a dog with a strong bond can feel like a threat, even if the environment is completely safe. But then comes a doubt that many people have. Does this apply to all dogs? Why do some seem not to mind sleeping far away, while others simply cannot rest unless they are pressed up against their owner? What does this difference in behavior say about the personality, history, and emotional state of each animal? Animal behavior specialists have very interesting answers to these questions, and they involve breed, life history, level of attachment, past experiences, and even the way the owner relates to the animal on a daily basis. Stay with me until the end, because every detail we will explore here was put together to help you truly understand what is going on inside the head and heart of your dog. Because in the end, the choice of where your dog sleeps every night is not random. It is a message, and when you learn to interpret that message more deeply, your relationship with him will never be the same. And before we continue, I need to pause here for a second, because what you just heard up to this point already says a lot about the kind of owner you are. The simple fact that you are watching this video, seeking to understand your dog's behavior more deeply, already shows that you are not an ordinary person. You are the kind of person who wants to make a difference in the life of someone who depends completely on you. And that is exactly why I want to ask you something right now. Tell me in the comments, does your dog sleep with you? Does he insist on getting into the bed, wait outside hoping for a gap, or does he prefer his own space? Every story is different, and yours might touch someone going through exactly what you have already experienced. Sometimes, a simple comment becomes the advice that another person needed to hear. So share, what touched you most so far? What did you recognize in your dog's behavior that you had never stopped to think about? Now, if this video has already made you see something new about your dog, if you felt that pull of, wow, I had never thought of it that way, click like right now. It is not just a symbolic gesture. It is what tells YouTube that this kind of content needs to exist, needs to grow, needs to reach more people who truly love their dogs. Every like is a vote saying that quality information about animal behavior deserves space. And at the end of that chain, it is the dogs who win, because more owners come to understand them better. It sounds simple, but the impact is real, so be part of it. And look, if you made it this far and have not subscribed to the channel yet, this is the moment. Not because I am asking, but because you already know what you find here. This channel was built for people who truly love their dog and want to go beyond the obvious. It is not about tricks. It is not about mechanical training. It is about understanding what your dog truly feels, what he tries to tell you every day through his body, his gaze, the habits that seem meaningless but carry deep significance. Every video here is a new layer of that conversation, and those who start seeing these signs never look at their own dog the same way again. If that makes sense to you, subscribe now and hit the bell, because the next video might be exactly what you needed to see. Your presence here is what makes this channel grow and reach more people with this kind of content. Every comment, every like, every new subscriber is a way of saying that this subject matters, and that dogs deserve owners who are increasingly aware and connected. Now, with all that said, let us continue. Your dog does not choose where to sleep by chance. Now, I want to show you something that completely changes the way you see this behavior. When your dog walks through the entire house and ends his journey right by your side, that is not a coincidence. It is a decision. And for a dog, that decision carries an emotional weight that most owners have never truly stopped to consider. In the journey of an animal that depends completely on you, the moment of sleep is the most vulnerable time of the day. It is when all protective instincts take a back seat, when the guard comes down completely. And in that instant, what a dog seeks is not the softest or warmest spot. It is the place where he feels safest. The hidden truth behind this very common habit is that your dog is telling you every night that you are the most important emotional reference in his life. Think about it. If he can sleep anywhere in the house, why specifically by your side? That simple question hides a powerful revelation about the bond between humans and dogs. A bond built in silence, through small everyday decisions, and that manifests most strongly in exactly these moments of rest and complete surrender. This behavior is not spoiled. It is primitive. It is real. And understanding the impact of this completely transforms the mindset of those who live with a dog. The ancient instinct that still exists inside your dog, what you see today as a cute habit, has roots far deeper than you imagine. To truly understand why your dog does this, you need to go back thousands of years, long before the pink little beds, the personalized collars, and the gourmet treats. The ancestors of dogs slept in groups, not for comfort, for survival. Sleeping together meant more watchful eyes, more warmth, more protection against external threats. The group was what ensured that each one woke up the next day. This behavior was so essential for so long that the emotional brain of modern dogs still carries that code. Even if the greatest danger in your pet's life today is the vacuum cleaner, the revelation is here. When your dog chooses to sleep near you, he may be treating you as the safest figure in the entire environment. His state of alertness, which never fully shuts off when he is alone, simply reduces in your presence. He truly relaxes. He breathes more deeply. He rests in a way that is only possible beside someone he trusts. This is fascinating because it shows that your dog's decision is not emotional only in the affective sense. It is neurological, instinctive, ancestral. Write in the comments, "My dog chose me." What science discovered about dogs who sleep with their owners? And when science decided to closely investigate this behavior, what it found surprised even the researchers themselves. It was not just about attachment. It was about chemistry, about what happens inside a dog's body when he is in your presence. Studies on the human-animal bond identified something powerful. Physical proximity between owner and dog activates the release of oxytocin in both organisms. This is the same hormone linked to trust, love, and the feeling of safety. It appears when mothers look at their children, when people embrace. And it also appears when your dog snuggles up beside you in bed and closes his eyes. But it goes beyond that. The scent of the owner, the sound of his voice, the warmth of his body, all of this works as an emotional anchor for the dog. They are references that his nervous system recognizes and interprets as, "I am safe, I can rest." For many dogs, the simple presence of the owner measurably reduces signs of anxiety and increases the sense of well-being. It is not an impression, it is physiology. And here is the part that connects all of this to what you experience inside your home. That dog who barks when you leave, who becomes restless alone at night, who seems unable to truly relax, is often responding to exactly the absence of those references. The impact of your presence on his emotional life is real, deep, and continuous. The hidden benefit that almost no one notices. There is something happening in this moment that most owners simply do not see. Not because it is hard to observe, but because no one has ever explained what to look for. When a rescued dog arrives in a new home, he carries with him a story that the body remembers even when conscious memory no longer reaches. Abandonment, uncertainty, unstable environments, all of this leaves marks on the animal's emotional system. And that is exactly why rescued dogs tend to seek much more physical contact during sleep. They are not being dependent. They are rebuilding themselves. Each night beside the owner is a silent proof that this time it is different. The same happens with puppies who are still building their emotional foundation, and with elderly dogs who return to seeking closeness as the world around them begins to make less sense to them. In all of these phases, the owner's presence works as an emotional anchor, something fixed, reliable, real, in a world that can seem unpredictable, and the impact of this goes far beyond immediate comfort. Dogs who have that sense of belonging consolidated tend to show fewer anxious behaviors, more emotional balance, and a greater capacity to handle new situations. The healing journey of a sensitive dog passes many times through simple nights just like this, pressed up against the one they love. Right here. My dog needs this too. But what about when the dog prefers to sleep alone? Now I want to show you something that completely breaks an idea that many people carry without realizing it. Not every dog wants to sleep in bed with you, and that does not mean he loves you any less. Breed, body temperature, life history, and personality directly influence the way each dog prefers to rest. Dogs with dense coats, for example, naturally seek cooler spots. Dogs with a more independent profile, such as some terriers and Nordic breeds, simply prefer to have their own space, and that is part of who they are. Watching the dog who chooses the little bed in the corner, who moves away when the environment gets too warm, who takes a deep breath and closes his eyes alone, that dog is also fine. He also trusts. He also has a bond. The signal that truly matters is not the place where he sleeps, it is the way he behaves when you are around. If he seeks your presence during the day, if he relaxes when you enter the room, if he follows you without anxiety, the trust is there regardless of which mattress he chose. And here is the great revelation. The most important thing is not where your dog sleeps. What truly matters is what that choice reveals about what he feels for you. When a dog chooses to sleep by your side every night, perhaps he is saying something he simply cannot express in words. If you made it this far, you are no longer the same owner who started this video. You have come to see something that most people ignore every day, and that changes the way you will look at your dog from now on. Now I want to hear from you. Does your dog do this too? Does he insist on staying by your side at bedtime, or does he prefer his own space? Tell me in the comments. Each behavior can have a different meaning, and when you share your story, you also help other people better understand their own dogs. I read everything, and that is exactly what guides me to bring videos increasingly closer to your reality. If this video made you notice something new about your dog, leave a like right now. That simple gesture tells YouTube that this kind of content needs to reach more people who truly love their dogs. At the end of that chain, it is the dogs who win, because more owners come to understand them better. So click like and be part of this. And if you love your dog and want to keep understanding what he truly feels, this channel was made for you. Here you will find signals that most people ignore every day. Every video is a new layer of that bond. Subscribe now, because those who truly understand their dog never look at him the same way again. There is a video right here on the side that complements this subject. Click it and keep going with me over there.